Hello and welcome to Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we are doing the weekly for the sign of Leo. This is going to be for October 27th today to November 3rd. All right, my Leos. Second in the fire signs video. Aries is up. So let's get right into pulling out your romance angel messages for the week. Then we'll pull out the the 3 animal spirits that you may be dealing with this week, and then we'll go ahead into your forecast. All right. Oop. Let's try this again. Codependency. Addictions are affecting your romantic life. Pay attention to red flags. Signs are cautioning you. Wow. All right, Leo. And heart-to-heart conversations. Honestly discuss your feelings with each other. All right. So, seems like a heavy set of messages, right, for this week. But let's go ahead and get your animal spirits out and see what this all entails for you. Animal spirits can indicate stages in life that you're going through, particular energies you may be drawing on, or moods that you may be in. Can also be characteristic of individuals you may be dealing with. Remember, just take what applies to you. If it doesn't apply to you, that's fine. And then we'll get into your spread for the week. First out, the hummingbird. Beautiful energy. Came out for Scorpio, I believe, yesterday. Air energy. The dragonfly making a regular appearance this week. Also air energy. And the tiger. Wow. Fire, Leo. Fire energy with the tiger. And the tiger, of course, comes in when we are overcoming fear, right? The tiger is synonymous with fear. And so here we talk about overcoming that fear. Let's get right into it. The hummingbird is air energy, and the hummingbird is probably one of the most spiritually resourceful animal spirits in the deck. This energy, when people resonate with hummingbird energy, they're really a delight to be around. They're very enthusiastic. They're extremely motivational for people around them. This is very much a motivational person. And they're there for everyone. They're able, they really are sort of the friend that's willing to help everyone. And so if we see them, like I would say in the wild, the hummingbird goes to find the best nectar. The hummingbird knows where to go, and nectar is the food of life, right? And so in this way, people who resonate with hummingbird energy can be really supportive friends in your life, who help you to sort of tap into spiritual resources when you need them. They know where to go to find, or they know what it is you need, right? And how to get it for you in a way, right? Just as they go out and collect the nectar, they're able also in friendships and dynamics like that and relationships to also bring sort of the nectar of the soul to you, right? And to help you to heal. Very nice energy indeed, of course, air energy. Now, the dragonfly has been a regular player all this week, coming out for most of the readings. Air energy, and of course, the dragonfly is the master of light and illusion and is the symbol of the mind, right? Because the dragonfly is so light and shifting and shimmering and not quite graspable, just as the mind moves in this fluid way, although air, in a way that air moves, so does the dragonfly. But dragonfly energy generally comes in to remind us to be careful, though, because there is a shifting and shimmering that happens in terms of what we perceive. And so sometimes we need to be reminded that not everything we see is as we see it. We may feel as though we have a certain perception of a scenario and we think that that is absolutely 100% right. But, it's only our perception, right? And our perception is not an absolute truth. And so in this way, just be careful because, again, pay attention to red flags, and having heart-to-heart conversations really talks about that, because you really kind of, with this dragonfly energy, it's about sort of admitting that you may not, know everything, or you may not be able to see what's everything that's about to come into your life or come down the pike, as it were, and to be open to the fact that you may have it wrong, right? Or you may have a perception of a dynamic that isn't quite the way you think it is. Now, the tiger comes in at a time in our lives, fire energy, when we need to conquer our fears, or when we have indeed conquered our fears. The tiger hunts at night, is very comfortable at night. This is very feminine energy, very moon energy, right? The tiger is extremely sensual. The tiger is extremely strong in its sensuality, and is very comfortable in the dark. It's comfortable facing, and in this way, it brings the strength to face our fears, to conquer them, right? Very strong energy, strong fire energy. And certainly when we talk about having heart-to-heart conversations, or dealing with codependent relationships, or difficult scenarios in our lives where we have to persevere and maybe go through a period that is like being in the dark about something, again, not having the whole picture with the dragonfly energy, it's important to face that head on, right? And to muster our courage and go forward nonetheless. I mean, a lot of people say that bravery is being courageous in the face of fear, right? It's not that you don't have fear, but it's that you continue to go forward even though you are frightful. And this could be having fear of a broken heart, having fear of finding out information that you really didn't want to know, or, that's forcing you to look at a situation in a way that you didn't want to, right? These are examples of fears that we have in our lives. So, Leo, let's get right into it and pull out anywhere from 4 to 8 3-card spreads. And these are just examples of scenarios you may or may not be going through this week. They don't all necessarily apply to the same Leo. You may resonate with one spread and not any of the others. And that's fine too, okay? So just take what applies to you, and if it doesn't apply, let it fly. All right, here we go. Fool, 10 of Wands, Chariot. Wow. Okay. Pretty sure we almost had the exact same spread come out for another sign earlier. But we have the Fool and 10 of Wands with a Chariot. Excellent, excellent spread. Talking about really starting a stage in our life. For some of you Leos, you are leaving a real burdensome time behind. You're about to enter into a stage in your life that is really going to be free of a lot of the burdens that you've had before. A lot of the self-doubt, perhaps, any of the baggage. You're ready to lay that baggage down, 10 of Wands. This feels very good. This feels very much like a, finally, finally I'm going to have a run of time that is in my favor, where I have luck. There can be stages in our lives where we feel like it has simply been an uphill battle to sort of maintain ourselves, to maintain our strength of mind and our emotional health, having to deal with one hardship after the next, one, hurdle after the next, or obstacle. This is it. It's the end of that time. And you're really starting off into a stage of your life that is really everything you've always wanted with this Chariot. Chariot is 7, major arcana 7. It's all about your dreams and aspirations and being on a path. Not only even so much the path towards a goal, but the path itself. An example will be, this is a crude example, but if you are wanting to be, if your desire in life was to be a famous artist, perhaps, maybe a famous singer or something, it isn't only just the fact that you want to be a famous singer, but it's the path to that, right? It's the first album, it's the first production, it's the first producer, it's the first photo shoot. It's the path, it's the life. that you're on that is also part of your desire to live that kind of life. Obviously, the goal is to achieve this status. But of course, it's the work towards it and the path towards it. And that's an example of Chariot, you know. And so not only do you move towards your ultimate goal of what you'd like for your life, Leo, but the path itself is really going to be very favorable to you, and it's going to feel for the first time for a lot of you like you have really like life has really shown you a lot of favor. This is very incredibly beautiful energy, and I'm going to say for some of you this has come in after facing a lot of fears, after really working even at times when nobody was there to support you. You really went ahead with your goals. You really persevered, especially at times of difficulty. And you faced your fears. Feels very much like a reward coming in from the universe. Justice, Nine of Swords, and the Hanged Man. So for some of you, there is a rebalancing coming in this week. Some of you are waiting. I'm going to say this particular justice energy coming in is that some of you are waiting for a judgment or a decision to be made that has really given you a lot of anxiety. It could be an actual like judgment by a court or a decision by like an official decision. It could be a decision at work, right? A decision that you're waiting for. Either you're getting the promotion or the raise. This could be a rebalancing in business that's coming in, almost as if, and that wouldn't be so much a decision, but it would be like almost a tide turning to rebalance to come into your favor. In either case, there is a balancing or a feeling of a part of your life coming into balance in your favor, as it were, right? It's been out of balance against you, coming into balance, but yet this week you still have a lot of anxiety about it because you continue to wait, and you still feel, for some of you, like you're in a holding pattern because of it. You feel like you really can't move forward until this decision has been made, right? Or you can't move forward until this rebalance has been made. I wonder for some of you if you may be caught in a codependent situation, right? And this rebalancing or this equalization that you're waiting for may be elusive. It may not ever come in, and so you remain in this Hanged Man energy. This feels, for some of you, I'm going to say this feels like a very toxic situation, perhaps a love situation where you continue to wait for this lover to come in and for things to, you know, to balance out the way you want, but yet they don't happen, and you continue to have a lot of anxieties and sleepless nights, but it just never turns out. You know, the Hanged Man never turns over and really moves forward. I'm going to say for some of you, dragonfly energy is at play, because to a certain degree, you're seeing a scenario that isn't exactly the way you believe it to be. And you really need to open up and pay attention to more red flags. Perhaps have those heart-to-heart conversations and face your fears more than anything with the Tiger. Face your fear of what does life look like if this doesn't happen? Can you move on, right? Can you get out of this connection, right? And this week is going to be one of these weeks where you're going to be very, very focused on this. And this whole issue is really going to come to a head for some of you. Queen of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, and Seven of Pentacles. So some of you are coming in this week really working very hard on a business area or a career area. You're really kind of putting a lot more energy and effort into a particular objective with regard to finances, right? And your financial stability. There is a feeling that, you have a fear right now. Some of you are fearing that your financial stability is in jeopardy or being threatened with that Four of Pentacles. And I think that this week you're going to perhaps be feeling a little bit disillusioned about, am I on the right track with the Seven of Pentacles talks about reevaluating the fruits of your labor. I think some of you are going to be feeling very much like, has this been worth it? It's just going to be a week of doubting yourself. Has it been worth it? The crunch is on financially. And it's all, not only that, it's something that is, this particular goal, right, to do with your finances or work or business, is something very close to your heart. This isn't just a 9 to 5 punch a clock. What you're doing is something that you really care about, yet, you still feel like it's not bringing in enough, right? I think you start off the week feeling very enthusiastic. Like if you continue to put the time and effort in, you will get the right rewards back. But I think this week it's just a little tough for some of you, and you end off the week a little bit disillusioned, a little bit feeling like it's really time to reevaluate your goals. Don't forget, again though, we see here with Tiger energy coming in, and Hummingbird can be very resourceful as well spiritually. So for some of you, if you're kind of like feeling worn down by a particular path that you're on, it's like you want to dig deep and remuster that energy to keep going, then you may depend on a friend who has this kind of hummingbird energy, who can be more motivational for you. And for some of you, it's just a case of facing your fears, right? This is a case, for some of you, it's a case of like, when you open up a business, in the first couple of years are rocky. Most people who don't survive in business don't survive because they're unwilling to get through the rocky periods, or they're unable to get through the rocky periods. This is just a rocky period, Leo. And I think for a lot of you, it's really about just facing certain fears that you may have and conquering them so that you can move forward. 6 of Cups, Wheel of Fortune, and a 2 of Swords. Wow. Some of you have a beautiful love connection with someone, but the wheel is turning in your life, and it could be that things are beginning to happen in your life. Opportunities are starting to come in, and you're feeling a little bit like you're having to choose, right? Like you can't have your love and you can't have these great opportunities at the same time. 2 of Swords comes in, oftentimes interpreted as the land of indecision. The truth of the matter is 2 is about duality and balance, not about making any decisions. And so remember this, you can have it. You can have your love connection. 6 of Cups is a really deep love connection with someone, a harmonious connection. There's no reason that this needs to suffer for the sake of these opportunities coming in. It's a case of balance. And I think for some of you, you may feel like you have a choice to make because, again, dragonfly energy is at play, and you're not really perceiving a particular situation for what it really is. Okay? You may be assuming that this love connection is unwilling to allow room for your career, your personal objectives. You may just be feeling doubt about that, right? Have the conversation with the individual. Have the conversation with your lover or your person so that you can discuss this. Because the one thing with 2 of Swords is that it admonishes us that it really isn't about choosing. It's about finding a balance, certainly. And there's every indication that you can have your cake and eat it too with this particular scenario. All right, this is going to be the last spread, guys. Sun, 7 of Cups, and 8 of Swords. All right, Sun energy coming in, also associated with Leo in a lot of ways. You come into this week feeling extremely self-confident, a high level of sort of feeling good and positive. You're feeling as though things are working out. You're motivated to move forward in a lot of your objectives. Things are just working out for you. The sun is shining on you this week, right? And you certainly start off the week this way. However, there is a, be careful, right? Because we do have pay attention to red flags and codependency, because 7 of Cups comes in. And for some of you, you're feeling really great. But there is an area in your life where you have very much a fairy tale view of it, a relationship that you view in very much a fairy tale way, and it may not be that way. It may not be what you think it is, right? All of this sort of bubbling up of sun energy is making you feel this way, but the sun also brings with it clarity. And I think for some of you, what happens is that a certain connection that you thought was this kind of fairy tale, great sort of connection, right? You find out this week there's some red flags that pop up all of a sudden, because 8 of Swords comes in, and 8 of Swords is a very sort of like narcissistic, toxic energy. This is someone who alienates themselves by their rigidity, their inability to sort of allow others to have an opinion. You know, this is the gaslighter. This is the person who always plays the victim. This is the person who, you know, is impossible to talk to because of their attitudes. And a lot of this energy comes out this week also in response to how good you're feeling, because this type of individual resonates with this energy, generally will start to show their ass when things are going good for you, right? These type of people generally start to, their antics increase and their gaslighting ways, all of their weird toxic ways of interacting begin to bubble to the surface whenever somebody is doing well. And you come into the week doing very well, probably thinking, hey, you know, this connection, they're gonna be happy for me, and then you find out, oh no, it's not, they're not happy for me, they're acting weird, they're psychotic, all of a sudden things are a problem, all of a sudden they're miserable. Why are they miserable when I'm happy? Why does it always seem like the only times they're happy is when I'm unhappy? And I think for some of you, you really wake up to a particular connection that isn't what you think it is, and dragonfly energy kind of comes in to let you know. You realize that you've had a perception of a relationship that was really not that way. All right. How you deal with that, of course, is for another set of cards, maybe for next week's spread. But certainly this week is a real eye-opener for some of you. And it may indeed be time to have a heart-to-heart conversation, or you may indeed realize that you're dealing with somebody who's very, very toxic, very codependent on you. And you know, how you decide to deal with that, well, we'll get into that next week. All right, Leo? This is your reading for October 27th to November 3rd. Thank you so much for stopping by, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share, and hit that notification if you enjoyed this reading. Even if you're not subscribed to my channel, just, you know, come back, check back if you like this reading, if it resonated with you. And so here we go. Next Saturday, I'll be up again for next week's Leo reading. But next up after this will be Sagittarius, and then we're finished for this week's fire signs. But for right now, Leo, have a wonderful week, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye now.